What is up, everybody? Shauna D Man here, and welcome back. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great week. We are back to do a quick little Harry Potter update. Now, it has been quite some time since I've actually talked about the Harry Potter live action series being done by HBO Max. I think the last time I talked about it, it was probably a couple of days after the announcement of them hiring uh, a black person to play Severus Snape, which is really stupid. But we've been down the rabbit hole and stuff like that before in regards to discussing that. So this is a little bit different. So we're going to talk about John Lithgow. Now, this article by Variety came up last week. I believe February 1st is when it first came out. I'm a little behind on it. I have other content and stuff that I'm working on, so it usually puts me behind on trying to like cover specific things in a timely manner. But we are going to talk about this relatively quickly. So overall, we've gotten more news and more talks with the Harry Potter TV series for HBO Max. They just maybe not just, but maybe a couple of days ago, they announced their Draco Malfoy. There's an article having a conversation about him, talking about, exploring some of his backstory, stuff like that. And for something that's supposed to be, you know, a faithful adaptation of the books, that's going to explore more that the movies didn't do. The more I hear about this show, the more it just sounds like, okay, this is probably not going to be what we think it is. It's kind of the same situation what's going on with the Chronicles of Narnia for Netflix. It is more than likely going to be. It's probably going to be terrible. It is probably going to be a terrible series. Now, obviously, I'm going to wait and see and then watch it to fully judge it, but it is more than likely going to be terrible. Harry Potter is kind of falling into that same track, and this is not nothing new. Look at Rings of Power. Look at the Halo series. There's talk conversations about Tomb Raider going on right now. Whenever these places, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Paramount, whatever, try to do adaptations of stuff, they 9 times out of 10 fail at it. Well, I shouldn't say they don't always fail at it. There are exceptions. Like a good example would be Paramount Plus, or just Paramount in general. I don't know why I said Plus. And with Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario, those are relatively well received by the fan base. But you have things like a live action Assassin's Creed movie. That's not good. You have, what was the other one? Obviously people did not like the Halo series. People are already kind of like don't really know about the Tomb Raider series. So there's proven track history of like stuff like this going wrong, and you already casted a black person to play Snape. You are already deviating from what you said about being a faithful adaptation of a book series that is still loved to this day by thousands and thousands of people. So one of the things I was hearing about was so the actor who played Lucius or Draco Malfoy, I don't remember his name, um, talked about some scenes that fans would get to see to explore more of why Draco the way he is. And I believe it sounds like we are potentially getting Lucius Malfoy in season one. Now, from my understanding from the different Harry Potter people, and even the Harry Potter movies that was theatrical releases, you don't meet Lucius Malfoy until the Chamber of Secrets. So to show him in season one of the series is already kind of a, what are we doing here? Um, there was something else too. There was something else that I read that I was kind of like, I don't know about. I don't know about there. So there, I think the best person that I can recommend you go in and follow is Blabbering Collector from Side Scrollers. I think she does a really good job breaking down all the Harry Potter news and stuff like that. So, but obviously, I don't really have high hopes for this. And from the Variety article we're about to jump into, with John Lithgow. Um, it sounds like J.K. Rowling isn't really involved in the production, even though she is credited as executive producer. She hasn't really pushed back on a lot of stuff that they have done. Again, I know I'm bringing it up for the third time, hiring a black person to play Snape. It is utterly ridiculous to do that. You created this world. You created these books. She should be the one to say whether or not, if she signed off on that, that's already kind of like questionable as is. Like, why are you signing off on it when you have a clear, detailed description of what Severus Snape looks like in your books? I mean, what are we doing? And then, and speaking of John Lithgow, you had the Harry Potter movies, all with British actors. You have John Lithgow, who is an American, who is a good actor. I'm not denying that or anything like that, but he's an American playing a British character. I think that's stupid. I think that's stupid. So I think it should just be primarily British-based people in this Harry Potter series. But what do I know? What do I know? So that is one of the things. Going back to Draco Malfoy real quick, it feels like the way people. I may have to do another video on this too. I don't know. I'm so behind on videos, but anyway, um, it sounds like they're trying to give you a reason why Draco the way he is, and it's just one of these things that we've kind of seen not only in television but also in the movies where they try to make you sympathize for the villain. Like, here are the reasons he is the way he is. Sometimes a bully is just a bully. That's what Draco is. He is a bully. Now, I thought the movies probably did a pretty good job of showing more with him, but like, I just don't think we need to like go through that again and talk about it. But who knows? Who knows? So let's dive into the Variety article. So this was done, like I said, on February 1st. So John Lithgow on playing Dumbledore in Harry Potter series and J.K. Rowling's trans views. People insisted I walk away from the job. I chose not to do that. Okay, so he basically goes on to say John Lithgow opened up about playing Dumbledore in the upcoming Harry Potter series when speaking at Rotterdam Film Festival, where Jimpa, his latest film, screened Sunday. Asked about J.K. Rowling trans statements, he said, "I take the subject extremely seriously. She has created this amazing canon for young people and has jumped into the consciousness of society. It's about good versus evil, kindness versus cruelty. I found her views very ironic and inexplicable. I've never met her. She's not really involved in this production at all, but the people who are remarkable." And see, like, that's where everybody's kind of like, is she? So is she not involved with this series? She's not really involved in this production at all, but the people who are remarkable. So then, what's the point? Because again, this would explain a lot of the some of the choices that have been made in regards to this series. He added, "It upsets me when people are opposed to me having anything to do with this. But in Potter canon, you see no trace of transphobic sensitivity. She's written this meditation of kindness and acceptance, and Dumbledore is a beautiful role. It was a hard decision." Stupid ads. "It was a hard decision. It made me uncomfortable and unhappy that people insisted I walk away from the job. I chose not to do that." He joked, "I'm the oldest person in this entire room, just turned 80, and yet I signed a contract I will be playing Dumbledore for the next 8 years. I absolutely have to keep at it. I felt, wow, that means I will live to be 88. I have that in writing." Okay. Still, one audience member still expressed their disappointment over his decision. Things like these don't help, they said, leaving the room in protest and starting a heated discussion that overshadowed a meeting with Lithgow's Rotterdam premier Jimpa. "I'm perfectly ready for collisions of opinion. I understand it," said Lithgow. In Jippa, he acts along Olivia Colman. Olivia has such access to her own emotional life. It's so genuine. It's so real to her. She keeps you on the same emotional wavelengths with an amazing actor. He said, okay, wait, hold on. I'm just, okay. I think this is more him talking about, yeah. Okay. I think this is just more of him talking about, his film and all that stuff. Okay. So I'm not really gonna dive too much into that then. So if that's the case, I'm not really gonna. I thought there was more to it to that Harry Potter, but it looks like he just talks about his personal life and some of the so like his film and everything. So it's not really all that important for me to go over. But yeah, I mean, production has been going on, I believe. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. Sorry if you're a dog. I apologize. Um. Okay, so yeah. So production. So they have been doing it. They have been in production. So production started on July 25th of last year. Okay. Uh, the series is a faithful adaptation planned for a decade long run, which premieres scheduled for early 2027. So we're gonna get it next year for HBO Max. But the issue is, it's like you're not really gonna, you're not really having that many episodes either. Let me see. I think where did I see it? 8. Yeah. See. It's just, here's what's gotten annoying. Is just that we've gotten to this when it comes to streaming. You're doing 8 episodes, so you're gonna do all of the Sorcerer's Stone or the Philosopher's Stone, depending on which one you want to call it, in 8 episodes. 8 probably like hour longish episodes. That just does not seem like a lot to cover the entirety of the book. So that's just me. That is just my opinion on it. But I mean, other than that, the cast is relatively fine. I think some of these people can pull off some of the looks. I think the kids that are playing Harry, Ron, and Hermione look fine. I mean, obviously Hermione is probably a little, maybe I don't. I think she'd be fine. I think. Listen, as long as they're good actors and actresses, then it's not going to be it's not really going to be an issue. But really, I say that, but my biggest gripe is the Severus Snape casting, because that just seems so out of place and everything. Um, because your concern is with them doing stuff like this, because Snape was bullied by James Potter and James Potter, Sirius Black, and I think Remus as well, the Marauders. They're gonna try to pull some kind of like, you know, oh hey, these guys are picking on the black guys, so they must be racist. You know what I mean? It's just it's. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. And then like we don't even know the whole what the, Voldemort, don't really know who's playing them. They I don't know if they're probably trolling. Who knows about potentially a woman playing Voldemort. Don't know if that's real or not, so don't really hold that to me. And then you have Sirius Black. I don't think they've casted for Sirius Black, which they got time. That's not until Prisoner of Azkaban, so there's not really like that's not really like a big thing to really can worry about right now. But I do think they are filming pretty much back to back to back. Um, maybe I think they're doing that because it would make sense for them to do that. It would make sense for as soon as they finish production and everything for, and makes if they have to do some reshoots or something like that, it makes sense for them to get all that done and immediately jump into production and everything uh for season 2 for Chamber of Secrets, because it's not, because I mean think about it, John Lithgow is 80 right now, and what we've seen from these streaming shows, it takes 2 to 3 years to put out just 6 to 8 episodes. So he could be well close to 100 in real time by the time we finish all this. So that's why I mean, and obviously you have the kids and they're growing up and stuff like that. The guy who's playing Draco Malfoy, he's already a little bit older compared to the 3 kids. Um, so he's definitely going to be aging a little bit quicker compared to them. So it's just going to look weird. So there's a lot that you already have to kind of like figure out, and maybe they have. I don't know, but it's just I just feel like this is already being set up to fail. I really, really do. And it kind of sucks, I guess. I mean, I would love to see, I haven't read the Harry Potter books. I've only seen the movies, but I would like to see like them dive. I would like to see a little bit more of Hogwarts and that Wizarding World and all that stuff. I would love to see them like do a faithful adaptation of the Harry Potter books and everything like that. But I have a feeling they're not really going to. It's we'll see though. Like we all could be proven wrong about it. Obviously, probably not if we're gonna be honest about it. So, but yeah, I mean we'll have to just wait and see how things play out. Production's going on right now. 2027 is when we should get our first season. It doesn't. I don't think it set a date. Well, obviously, it wouldn't say a date, but I'm curious, like, on what time of year. It feels like in early 2027. So this could be something like a. I could see this being like, maybe like a February, March, or April type of release for this show. I could see that. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But guys, that is relatively it. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on Rumble, be sure you hit that like and follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure you hit that follow button and that notification button. You can find me on my gaming channel, Twitch, Kick, the Nerd Talk podcast on Spotify, and my Patreon for more content. So, guys, thank you again for hanging out. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.